Project Titan, aka Apple's new invention, the Apple Car. The rumours of tech giants building a smart car which began in 2015 have made biggest headlines in 2020 and 2021. Even Steve Jobs in 2008 confirmed that they tried to build a car but dropped the plan to focus on producing more iPhone. So what can we expect from Apple's car? Well, here's what we are expecting. Apple Inc. is moving forward with self-driving car technology and is targeting 2024 to produce a passenger vehicle that could include its own breakthrough battery technology. The iPhone maker's automotive efforts, known as Project Titan, have proceeded unevenly since 2014, when it first started to design its own vehicles from scratch. At one point, Apple drew back the effort to focus on software and reassessed its goals. Doug Field, an Apple veteran who had worked at Tesla Inc., returned to oversee the project in 2018 and laid off 190 people from the team in 2019. Since then, Apple has progressed enough that it now aims to build a vehicle for consumers. Apple's goal of building a personal vehicle for the mass market contrasts with rivals such as Alphabet Inc.'s Waymo, which has built robo-taxis to carry passengers for a driverless ride-hailing service. Central to Apple's strategy is a new battery design that could radically reduce the cost of batteries and increase the vehicle's range. Making a vehicle represents a supply chain challenge even for Apple, a company with deep pockets that makes hundreds of millions of electronic products every year with parts from around the world, but has never made a car. It took Elon Musk's Tesla 17 years before it finally turned a sustained profit-making car. Although it remains unclear who would assemble an Apple-branded car, but sources have said they expect the company to rely on a manufacturing partner to build vehicles, and there is still a chance Apple will decide to reduce the scope of its efforts to an autonomous driving system that would be integrated with a car made by a traditional automaker rather than the iPhone maker selling an Apple-branded car. Apple's car might feature multiple LiDAR sensors for scanning different distances. Some sensors could be derived from Apple's internally developed LiDAR units. Apple's iPhone 12 Pro and iPad Pro models released this year both feature LiDAR sensors. As for the car's battery, Apple plans to use a unique monocell design that bulks up the individual cells in the battery and frees up space inside the battery pack by eliminating pouches and modules that hold battery materials. Apple's design means that more active material can be packed inside the battery, giving the car a potentially longer range. Apple is also examining a chemistry for a battery called LFP, or lithium iron phosphate, which is inherently less likely to overheat and is thus safer than other type of lithium-ion batteries. Apple car release speculation. If Apple is intending to actually ship an Apple car, there may be a few more years to wait until it is unveiled to the public for the first time. Reports from 2016 suggest Apple was aiming for a 2020 rollout, but issues forced a delay into 2021, such as the departure of project leader Steve Zadesky. It is also unclear at the time whether Apple's first attempt at a car will include some level of self-driving capability, though the reporting at the time was just before Apple started its efforts to test the system on public roads. Noted Apple analyst Ming-Chi Kuo proposed in August 2018 Apple will create a shipping consumer product under Project Titan by as early as 2023, with the Apple car launch window stretching as far as into 2025. There was no indication as to how the dates were determined by Kuo, but he wrote he expects Apple to take advantage of tectonic shifts in the automotive market. By leveraging potentially huge replacement demands emerging in the sector due to the introduction of new technologies, Kuo believes Apple can take advantage of a car market that is ripe for change, in a similar way to how the smartphone market existed before the iPhone. The analyst also suggests the vehicle project could help propel Apple towards a $3 trillion valuation. The highest valuation it marked was at $2 trillion when company shares briefly rose as high as $468.65 in August 2020. Apple was also the first publicly traded US company to reach $1 trillion market cap in August 2018. The stock is up around 57% so far in 2020, on booster from the strong forecast beating earnings despite the COVID-19 pandemic, and optimism over its forthcoming 5G iPhone. In the past year, shares have risen more than 120%. The main source of its income comes from iPhone sales. The iPhone was first released in 2007, but at the dawn of the decade, it was still a relatively niche product, confined to one wireless carrier and targeted at the early technology adopter. Now it's a much bigger deal. In the first calendar quarter of 2010, Apple sold 8.7 million iPhones. In the first quarter of 2018, Apple sold 47 million iPhones. The iPhone has also propelled Apple. In the last 10 years, Apple has gone from a large computer company with a profitable side business in MP3 players to a $1 trillion mega corporation with operations around the globe and 137,000 full-time employees. Perhaps the best example of the iPhone's transformational power is what it did to the camera. Some 109 million pocket cameras were sold in 2010, according to data from the Camera and Imaging Products Association. But in 2018, the last year for which full data is available, only 9 million cameras with built-in lenses were sold. The iPhone has also created arguably as many new industries as it destroyed. Ride-hailing companies Lyft and Uber are collectively worth more than $60 billion, and they exist only thanks to the always-on GPS location and high-speed wireless connections that became common with the iPhone. A concept image. Reports in late 2020 indicate Apple may be ahead of schedule and a product may be ready by 2024. It could feature a radical new battery design that would reduce cost and extend driving range. Hyundai have confirmed that Apple has approached it and other companies about producing the Apple car. Such advanced talks are normal and indicate Apple is ready to begin production in the coming months. The same report indicates that despite starting production, the car will not be ready to launch for years yet. 2024 at the earliest, though 2027 seems to be more realistic. To keep from diluting the Hyundai brand, it may assign subsidiary Kia to manufacture the Apple car. Kia's plant in Georgia would be a prime location. Apple is expected to build a beta version of the Apple car by 2022, then order 100,000 for production in 2024. The Georgia plant, owned by Hyundai Kia, can output up to 400,000 cars per year. So what do you think of this smart car? Will it be a game changer to the automobile industry? And will it give a tough competition to Tesla's electric car? Well, let us know in the comments section what do you think about this, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.